Hello and welcome to Will It Roll. This week is possibly the most ridiculous challenge I have ever been set. I am going to try and roll a Formula 1 car. Yes, you heard me correctly, this is insane. As you can see, I'm on F1 2012. I've got a Lotus because Kimi Raikkonen is a legend and I wanted to drive the Lotus to be a little bit different. So yes, I'm going to try and roll a Formula 1 car. I'm going to be honest, at the start of this, I did not think this would work. Because it's such a stupidly tricky challenge. Now I started off on the Italian circuit, mainly because I knew there were some fairly large curves around here. I'm not going to cheat, I'm not going to bounce it off a wall and crash it. First attempt, I maybe missed the curves. I hadn't driven on Formula 1 in ages. I tried off that little sort of mini curve there as well. Yeah, I'm not going to bounce it off the wall. Yes, you could crash the car, you could make a roadblock in Monaco and the AI would eventually roll you over. But I'm going to try and do it without sort of causing incidences. I tried cutting the corner because there were some big curves in the middle of it. No, just went straight over. All that happened is the game penalised me. Thank you, game, for that. But yeah, you can see this is a real pain. I also don't worry about my gear changes. I forgot which way the gears were on here because, like all games, they're always different. I try over some more of the curbs and just, well, successfully spun. That seems to be what happens on F1 2012 if you hit the curves with any force. You don't really get much time on the air, you just sort of spin the car. Again, we're coming up towards, I forgot the name of this corner. Yeah, go around there, curves aren't even, you don't even do anything. I was trying if there's some like sort of little curves in that section there. That doesn't roll it either. So I quickly gave up with Italy and went to Hungary, where I know there are some big curves there. You see, I actually got the car in the air briefly. I mean, tiny sort of moments in the air. I may have hit a wall as well. Don't worry about that, it's all good. I'm in time trial, so it doesn't damage the car. I was going to try again. This is the curves I know are the biggest in this game, I think. Sort of try and fly over there, and didn't really work either. Hit the wall pretty hard. It's just stupidly impossible. I tried going the wrong way at these curves again to see if anything different would happen. The game was shouting at me, but not really much was going on. I mean, the car was lifting up a tiny bit, but you're never going to roll it. I did try on some other tracks, and it was all pretty much the same. I could get the car maybe to lift up in the air, but it's not going to roll on F1 2012. The only way you could do it is with a crash. You could hit a wall and ping off, like I hit a wall at high speed and ping off, or as I said, make a roadblock in Monaco at the start and then let the AI sort of push you over. However, I don't want to do that. I want to do this properly, so I swapped games. I'm going to go to R Factor. This is a PC simulation game. Yes, it is quite old. It doesn't have particularly good graphics. Driving physics on here is absolutely amazing, though. I recommend you play it if you haven't. I'm going to be using the BMW Sauber, a few years old Formula 1. I think this is Nick Heidfeld's BMW. We're going to have a go with this. There are many, many millions of mods for R Factor for different Formula 1 cars, but this is just the one that I happen to have installed at the time. Now my first attempt, I think it's Albi is the circuit. It's a French circuit. Again, this is another mod, and I knew there were some pretty big curves at the start of this, which I kind of had a go at seeing, but it didn't really go anywhere. At this point, I'm using a controller because I didn't want to try and set my wheel up and spend forever trying to set it up, which is why all the sort of steering movements are a bit jerky. R Factor isn't really designed for a controller. As you can see, I may have spun it, and it wasn't even anywhere near rolling. God damn. So yeah, I was trying on this curve again. The first corner has some really big curbs, which I was kind of trying to throw the car at, but it was spinning. That's just all of these cars do. They just spin ridiculous amounts, which it wasn't really helping matters particularly. I then got distracted and went to visit a plane. I didn't know this thing had a runway in the middle, so I went off to see what the plane was. Also to see if there was any bumps in the grass, but there wasn't. It's a Ferrari plane. I see a Ferrari badge on it, and then I'm just going to sort of drive about the plane. Yeah, this track, I mean, there are bumps. You saw as I go across the grass how much it sort of bumps about. No, plane's not solid. It's a ghost plane. Yeah, it's you can see how much it bounces around, but it doesn't roll. So I'm going to go and try again on this first corner curve. I'm going to attack it with some serious speed, and nope, that got some air time, tiny bit, and then it spun as well. Which, you know, not particularly helpful for rolling. I'll go to the replay camera now. R Factor is really difficult with these blooming replay cameras, and there's a spinning Formula 1 car. Sorry if I leave my mouse pointer on the screen, I'm not used to really working with PC games. Yeah, R Factor replays are a little bit funny, so part of this is sort of done on board, part of this is done in the replay cameras. I did the best I could for recording. Next attempt, I rolled it and did a very spectacular flip. Don't really know which way is up anymore, but it was off a tyre wall, so it doesn't really count. And there we go. I may have broken it a little bit, as you can see. I basically smacked the tyre wall. That is a very impressive spin from the Formula 1 car there. But it doesn't count. It's a cheaty roll. Cameras got lost because it was off the tyre wall. I tried again. I tried a bit more on this sort of curb. You can see how difficult it is with the controller getting this thing to go in a straight line. And I was basically just bouncing. I was getting in the air sort of a little bit, but not going to roll doing that. I then changed circuit. This is Autodrome Most, I don't know, I think it's a Czech circuit. And then again, just sort of spun that time, wasn't particularly helpful. I thank the game for putting the name up the top so I can remember these, because I have quite a few mods on here, I can never remember which track's which. This corner down here was the most likely to cause it to roll. There were some sort of nasty curb things in there that I was trying to kind of fling my car off. But really what was happening is just the under tray of the car was catching, and it was just spinning it. I mean, it would lift the car up a little bit there. You can see the front came up a little bit. I may have lost my rear wing. It's going to have a spin. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, did a fair bit of damage to my car. I was having a look, trying some different circuits. I can't remember the name of this circuit. And promptly got completely confused. And where am I going? I'm lost. Normally the game just spits you out onto the pit straight, sort of like the pit lane bit. And this one didn't. I'm now in the car park. Where am I going? Where's the track? I need a racetrack. I'm supposed to be going around a... No, okay. There's not a track over there. Let's go and play with some tents. No idea where the track is. Track has just completely vanished. Oh no, I got disqualified for driving around a car park. Cost me 87,000 credits. Luckily, that's completely irrelevant. Where is the blooming track gone? And there's the garages again. Oh, this way. I see a pit wall, I think. Hopefully. Please be track. Please be track. Please be track. Yay! I eventually found the track. But yeah, that's a strange circuit, that one. It just sort of dumps you out onto the car park. This track was far too flat. There's the name of it. I'm sure some of you might know this one. There were very few bumps, very few bumpy curbs. I found the one bump that there was in the entire track, which was there, but didn't really do very much. Just sort of spun the car again, which is pretty much the story of everything. I then tried the Catalunya GP circuit. This one, I'm sure some of you will know, the final corner, there's like a nasty chicane. If you ever played F1 2012, there's some really big curbs on there that when you hit, it just basically spins you out if you hit them with too much force. So I was thinking, okay, we'll go on R Factor and we'll try that and see what happens. There is a little problem because R Factor has the old layout of Catalunya, I guess, before they had that chicane in there. So it was just sort of a straight corner onto the start-finish straight, which isn't much use. Also, Formula 1 cars don't have very good turning circles. So yeah, there was no curbs to try and attack. And I got disqualified again for going the wrong way around the circuit. Never mind. Not really particularly important. I then tried Bathurst. I'm thinking it's a very hilly circuit. It's not designed for Formula 1 cars, so maybe there'll be some bumps that I can throw this thing off. Now I know there is a big dip here. I can't remember what it's called. Particularly nasty corner. Tried sort of throwing my car over there. Didn't really work. Ended up taking far too much speed into this bit and then promptly spun it. And now trying to turn around is not very easy. Yeah, it's particularly difficult in this car. I have swapped to the steering wheel actually at this point, because I couldn't drive with that controller anymore. And there we go, just about got the Formula 1 car turned. I then trying down this part again, another fairly well-known corner. I can't remember what it's called. Fabian Coulthard had a huge crash on this part. Again, trying to clip the curb, and it just didn't do anything, and eventually got sent across the grass and pretty much got stuck in the gravel trap. That wasn't working either. So still on the theme of sort of hilly circuits, I went to the Knock Hill circuit. I'm sure many of you who watch touring cars will know this one, and the Americans won't have a clue where this is. This is a very hilly circuit, a very bumpy circuit. So I was thinking maybe I could find somewhere to throw this car off. I tried the first corner and knocked my front wing off. It felt like I got a fair bit of airtime actually over that, but we go and have a look at the sort of the replay bit. And no, it got the back side got a tiny bit lifted in the air, and then I spun and hit a wall. It wasn't looking too promising either at Knock Hill, but I carried on because this is probably the most sort of, what's the word, undulating course that I have. And everything went a little bit wrong up the hill and it rolled. I basically lost control of my car as I was going up the hill and it fell over. I've done it! I've rolled a Formula 1 car. And it's, yeah, I should lose control going up the hill and it ends up going sideways. I was on cold tyres at this point, and as it goes over the crest of the hill, it rolls and flips and crashes into the barrier. So there we go. I can roll a Formula 1 car without cheating. It had already rolled before it hit the barrier, so it's not a cheating roll. And there we go. I didn't have to cheat at all. This is what I mean by cheating, by the way. Formula 1 car driving off-road, and there we go. That's another way of rolling one. But I managed to roll into a proper racetrack without any need of AIs or crashing. I'm pretty impressed that worked. I did try a few other circuits afterwards, and I could not find anywhere to get it to roll in another place. That is the only place that I could manage to do it. So there we go. Yes, you can roll a Formula 1 car. It is very, very difficult. It won't work on F1 2012 without some cheating. On R Factor, I'm sure there are other tracks that I don't have, other mods that it probably would do. But yes, there we go. I have still been successful. No car has beaten me yet. So that is it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching as ever. If you have a car or a theme or a certain challenge you would like to see me do in Will It Roll, then please leave it in the comment section. I will have a look through and I will pick my favourites. However, until next time, goodbye.